That's right, Charles. I mean, right now the federal government has a major undertaking because all of their systems right now are vulnerable. You saw the Office of Personnel Management or the OPM hack, where millions of records around background checks and clearances were taken. IRS, time and time after again, where we're seeing a lot of these large-scale breaches, and the federal government is way behind. Even the commercial sector, which is also getting breached really bad right now when it comes to the types of attacks.
Now, when you hear that these attackers used an application that was provided by the IRS, I guess that's what really is unnerving because, before we heard they make sure you have a secure password, but any business out there is going to have offers, apps, security, different things to invite people into their site so they can accumulate data on it, but it becomes a two-way street.
It does, and that's what happened here in the IRS. They're able to use, personal information from individuals that they were able to get from other places. Like, for example, what was your first pet's name? In order to guess and get and pull back information, or birth dates, things like that are readily available to get that information. The problem is that if you look at statistically, they went after 600,000 accounts. They were successful in half of those. That's a very alarming statistic, which means that they were easily guessable, something that had little to no security, and that they're able to essentially brute force their way into these types of systems to get access to that data. Just shows really bad security practices.
So the IRS has the most important of our own personal information.
Right.
What should the viewers out there be on the lookout for now? What if you're one of these 300,000 or so that were successfully hacked? Your information was stolen.
Yeah, Charles, this is the most alarming part about it. So if your credit card gets compromised, right, you get a new credit card from your bank and everything's fine and dandy and you get the funds reimbursed. This is a lot more challenging because it's your social security number, which means that it's tied to you personally, which means that, the IRS is going to give you a certain amount of time, maybe a year or 2 years for identity fraud protection. But that identity can be used anytime. It can be used 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 50 years from now. So you have no idea when it's going to be used. So my personal tips for individuals is monitor your credit, monitor your identity, make sure that there's nothing that's being taken out fraudulently, and unfortunately you're going to have to monitor for the rest of your life because the government can't protect your information.
I think that was almost laughable when they made that offer. Any big business that's hacked to that degree would have probably offered a lot more than that. That was like sort of a used toothbrush or something. So I guess this is just the life we live in, right? This is the world we're in right now, and if the IRS can't control or keep our information safe, no one can.
That's right, and there's going to be a lot more of these that come to light this year and next year and for the foreseeable future from the government, because they are, 5 or 10 years behind even the private sector, and so we're going to see a lot more of these.
David Kennedy, thanks a lot, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.
Well, his son is gone. Now a father whose son was killed in Iraq by an Iranian-made bomb wants that nuke deal